Well, hopefully a little downtime and relaxation is on your calendar this holiday season, and what better way to unwind than picking up a brand new book? Well, specifically, I'm talking about poetry. Antonio Robinson's new book, Heartfelt, is stimulating our minds, and he's here to tell us more. How's it going?
Good, good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. We're so thrilled to have you here. Now, I'm curious, what inspired you to write this book, and what are people really getting themselves into?
Well, what really inspired me to write this book, you know how most parts of our life and most times of our life, we're looking outside of ourselves for validation, for hope, for inspiration, for some sort of belief. Mm-hmm. So on my journey, I decided to meditate, and I went inside of myself. So once I did that, it opened up a whole new world, the inner world. And it got me to realize that my inner world is far more important than anything else. And it made me realize that I could validate myself from the inside rather than looking outside. I could create meaning and purpose for my life from the inside rather than looking outside.
Oh, I love that. And what better way to share that than through writing? I'm kind of curious, has writing always been a passion of yours?
No, it hasn't been. In fact, it was probably one of my weaker points throughout my life. But when I had a severe injury back in like 2016, I ruptured my left Achilles tendon. I ended up reading a little bit more because I got bored with Netflix and Amazon Prime and all that stuff. And so I stumbled upon a book called Autobiography of a Yogi, and is written by a Hindu yoga man, a spiritual man. So it got me into that because my whole life I was, a Christian, a devoted Christian. And this guy starts talking about paradoxes, mysticisms. He's using physics in such a way where I'm like, okay, I thought only Albert Einstein was thinking about this stuff. Werner Heisenberg, Niels Bohr. No, these Hindu people knew about this 5,000 years ago. Well, wait a minute. Let's freeze things. The knowledge, the profound wisdom that they had, I needed to absorb. So once I opened that book up, it opened my heart to the mysticism of life, the universal oneness of all life. The author of that book, Paramahansa Yogananda, he calls it Maya.
That is very, very interesting. Well, I'm curious, it is poetry in this book. So
of course.
What do people actually read? What kind of journey are they going on by reading your book?
Well, the book is written in such a way where it inspires hope, inspiration, and then I sprinkle in spirituality throughout.
Oh,
I don't force it on you, right? But it's poetry, short stories, and essays. And so I use creative wordplay. I try to provoke thought. There's a lot of people nowadays, they're not thinking for themselves. Right. They're waiting to be told what to do. No. You are a powerful, multi-dimensional being. I ascribe to what a lot of the physicists would ascribe to, what's his famous name? I forget his name. But he calls us energy, frequency, and vibration. That's what we are. So that is our truest form, making us multi-dimensional beings.
Wow, and when there's so many important lessons that are coming from this book, but I'm curious, from your standpoint, what is like the most important thing that you hope people will take away when they get to read this book?
Self-belief, to start believing in themselves and know that they could start from scratch, become a beginner again. Because I wasn't an expert writer, like I said, struggled with grammar, struggled with in a lot of areas. But I focused in on what I really, really wanted to do. I believed in myself, and lo and behold, I created a book, a beautiful book.
I love it, and it's the holidays too, so what better time than something like this, a little inspiration which they could use right now, right?
Exactly.
I love it. My friend, thank you so much for coming on today. Thank you for sharing this inspiration with us. To pick up a copy and learn more, just head to AntonioRobinsonBooks.com.